Yes, yes, everybody. Russ for the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. It was the Nuno Espirito Santo press conference has just finished, and as always, the West Ham Network, we bring to you a synopsis of what's been said. It was a bit of a short one today, and to be honest, it was dominated by one journo who just wouldn't stop talking about Liverpool. So it wasn't as exciting as usual. It's usually quite a decent press conference, but it wasn't that particularly exciting. And there wasn't loads to say. There's a little bit about team news, a little bit about sort of confidence, but mainly it was about Liverpool and how shit Liverpool are. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's the greedy six biasness, isn't it? Let's get into it. Let's talk about team news. There we go. Let's get the right one on there. So, what team news? Crescencio, Somerville, and Dinos Melopoulos are getting better, and we will still have tomorrow to assess. So that was all we got in terms of where we're at. Those were the two that were asked, and that was the information they were given. In terms of improving confidence over the last few weeks, he goes, it has been improving. Our fans have been supportive and we've done well, but in football, it's what happens on the day. So Sunday will be a new challenge. He was basically saying it doesn't matter what's happened before, it's what happens on the pitch on the day. That's true, but he has seen confidence. He has also seen improvements in the players. I've noticed improvements. I think they're getting better. We expect that day by day, and that's what's happening. We want to be a team that is compact and solid. Sounds like my LinkedIn bio. Compact and solid. Yeah, I mean, we spoke about a few players. He spoke about Callum Wilson. He was asked about, aspirations, his own personal aspirations to get the World Cup squad. He goes, he was actually asked about the sub, obviously taking off quite early. He goes, the sub was something I think the team needed. It was a good point. It was a tough place to go, and I think the players worked really hard. I think Callum is wonderful that he has challenged himself to reach the World Cup. I hope he keeps scoring for us and he manages it, because obviously if he did, it's because he'd have scored a shed load of goals at West Ham. So that would be well. And again, he was asked about Freddie Potts. I know he's been quite conservative when it comes to praise about Freddie Potts. It's almost like he doesn't want to give him hype him up too much, because we know he's a very good talent and a very good prospect. And asked about Freddie, he goes, well, it's not just Freddie. I think all the players are improving, which is our objective. All the players are going to be needed. Looking at our schedule, Freddie is just an example of what we want from our players. An example of what we want from our players. Be like Freddie. # be like Freddie. And then the conversation was dominated by Liverpool and talking about it. They're a good team in football. That's all that matters, is what you do on the day. We expect this team to be capable of good things, so we have to be ready. Liverpool go into a period now of, I think it's 4 games in 11 days. They play us, and then they play Sunderland, Leeds, and then they play Inter Milan across 11 days. So a lot of there's a lot of football to be played. And in terms of our current record against them, not great, obviously. We do that with Stat Attack. But he goes, I think it means nothing. It's history. It's going to be a new team, and it's up to us to play well against a very good team. And obviously Liverpool's home form in general is very poor. And he asked whether he could put a finger on why they haven't been as good as they have been. They were they're still the champions of the Premier League from last year. And he says, to be honest, I look at them individually for our game. What we have ahead is a very good team. I don't look at them across the season. I just look at them recently. And he sort of kept his cards very close to his chest, as we know Nuno does. Looking back at recent years, every team has these kinds of moments in terms of like dips of form. Then they react. I'm only focused on West Ham and how we can compete. Let the opponents find their own solutions. Too fucking right. Asked about Arne's slots. There is talks of potentially, if this doesn't go Liverpool's way, he could be on his way out. And he goes, all the managers in the Premier League and in the world, the press always raises these types of questions. It's part of the industry. I will salute Arne as usual, but I'll think about us and how we can get the result. And that's what he kept on saying. He goes, yeah. But what I'm trying to think is what I can do to improve West Ham, what I can do to get the result, what I can do to improve the relationship with the fans. It was all about that, and he doesn't, he's very focused. He is very focused. And there was even a question about the Liverpool lineup, talking about, potentially, maybe even Salah not even making the bench, or making the bench rather, not even starting the lineup. He says we can't expect anything especially with teams in Europe. Obviously, they played PSV midweek. We can't predict the starting 11, but no matter what it will be a good Liverpool side. Liverpool have an immense quality throughout the squad. But we at the West Ham Network will try and predict the starting 11 for West Ham, of course, and that will be on Sunday. And that was it. As I said, it was a very, very quick press conference. Didn't really get into too much detail, so not much as they used to. Overgone. There we go. I've been a bit more sort of a bit more snappy. This wasn't very good. It wasn't one of the best press conferences. And I think the trouble was because it was so dominant. It was one bloke who all he did was talk about Liverpool, and I think that really probably pissed Nuno off more than anything. And he would have liked to have asked questions about the academy and stuff like that, but wasn't given the time. Anyway, Hammer's headlines a bit later on, and yeah, if you want to get your hands on a nice Prezi for Christmas, where is it? Our new raffle's just been launched. Remember that pony shirt, signed by the Terminator himself. There it is, Julian Dix. £5 entry as per usual with our raffles. Link in the description. Oh God, what happened there? Link in the description below. And until next time, my friends, don't forget to like, comment, share, hype, all that good stuff. And I'll see you soon. Peace out, mofos. Bye.